Everybody is doing great today. I had to be outside. It is such a gorgeous day today here in Las Vegas. It's supposed to get in the mid 70s here today, and I'm doing some work here outside, and so I just had to be here. I hope you're doing great today, wherever you are. It's great to see you. Hope everybody is doing great. Let's see here. Um, I'm taking a look here. I'm using a different computer than what I do when I'm inside, so I just want to make sure that we've got everybody on and looking good. So, how we doing? Hey, Ted. Okay, great. Thank you for saying something because I wasn't certain that we were on here. So, thank you for that. Hey, and hi, Tom on. Instagram, great to see you. Hope everybody is doing very, very well. So here we are. It's what did we decide? Today's March 95th, something like that. Another day in our quarantine. Oh, there we go. The waterfall finally dropped down there. So, geez, I'm trying to get this all arranged here. Hope everybody's doing good. It is such a strange and crazy time, and hi, Tom. Yeah, it's been a while, man. It's great to see you locked down in Maryland. You said Bel Air, and I thought, wait a minute, are you in California? Are you locked down there? Easter Eve, Ann, you're exactly right. And hey, Mary, great to see you as well. Um, it's going to be so strange tomorrow. I was talking with a couple of friends, and one of the things that we were talking about is that for some of us, maybe many of us, it's going to be the first time in our lives that we have not attended a church service, in a church for Easter, and that's really unique. That's really different. And so, Talene is there getting ready to color eggs. Dawn, great to see you there on Instagram. And so it's a challenge. What are we going to do? How are we going to do it? And so it is certainly a challenge for us that we're going to have to figure out, how do we respect the distancing yet deal with these fundamental challenges that we're experiencing. So that's part of what makes getting together here so cool, so neat, is that we're able to share and connect and be a part of all this, and maybe that gets us a little bit more prepared for not being together if you happen to celebrate Easter. And I know that not everybody that watches does, but if you happen to do that, it's going to be something that's very different, shall we even say distinctive, about this Easter over any other. So, hey, Carrie, good to see you. So, one of the things that I was talking with friends about is that this is a fundamental challenge. It's an emotional challenge for us. And if there's anything that I think that we're learning through this process, that one of the best things that we can do is just talk about it. Be transparent about it, open it up. And if we don't do that, we will continue to exacerbate the challenges that we're having. So one of the things I'd like to see you do is to open up with family and friends and be open and honest about what you're dealing with and the challenges that you're dealing with. And I want to make sure you know a couple of things that's happening. And thank you, Tom. I really appreciate that. Tom mentioned that we love you in Jupiter, Florida. Scott, that's very kind. Thank you for that. And Laura, good to see you here. Barbara, thank you for being here. One of the things that is happening now that I think is so cool, some of you have remarked that you've seen me on with my friend Ken Walls, and Ken has brought along Glenn Morshower, and we've been just doing some chatting online here on Facebook and so forth. And so now we have decided we are going to start a weekly show. And our weekly show is going to be every Sunday at 8 o'clock Eastern, 5 o'clock Pacific time. And it's going to be Ken Walls and Glenn Morshower and me every Sunday night. And so you can tune in every Sunday. We're going to talk about what's going on, and we're going to have the three of us have a great time together. We're live like that. Hey, Scott, how are you? Good to see you on Instagram. Scott Stratton, one of the great keynote speakers of the planet, is watching. So you're the best, pal. Great to see you. Linda, hey, good Saturday to you too. Transplanting seeds. There you go. No Easter dinner or baskets or church, but we will survive. Yes, Lynn, we will survive. Absolutely. We will figure out how to make that happen, won't we? It's an interconnected world. But man, we want to be back together so much. I'll talk more about that in just a second. So anyway, I just want to make certain, please mark it down. Join us tomorrow night. Now, if you don't know, Ken is a friend of mine who is involved in the personal development field. Glenn Morshower is somebody I've never met in person, but we've had these great conversations online. And Glenn, if you're a fan like I was of 24, Glenn was Aaron Brooks, the Secret Service agent that worked with Jack Bauer to protect the president. Had a huge role on 24. He's currently one of the co-stars of The Resident, which is great. Gary mentioned here. So last night, Glenn was showing me one of the vocal exercises that they do. I need to get practicing on that because something tells me that Glenn is going to ask me about that tomorrow night. Glenn teaches acting classes as well, and he has a lot of folks in his acting class. And he was showing me one of the vocal exercises that they do, and it's tongue twisters, and it was absolutely brilliant, absolutely amazing. So I'm going to be working on them. John, great to see you here too as well. Thank you for being here. Yeah, you caught it by accident, Tom. Yeah, we had such a great time. And I think that's one of the things that we, thank you, Robert. I think that's one of the things that we need to do here is to use this chance to connect online, this virtual connection that we have to develop new friends, not just expand the friendships that we already have, but to develop some new friends and to have some fun. Jerry, great to see you. Is that my fiend or my friend there? The weekend here is going great. I'm going to be joining one of Jerry's online classes that he teaches in his industry. And thanks for the invite, Jerry. Looking forward to being a part of that. And that brings about the question, too. So what are you doing to learn? What are you doing to grow? What are you doing to take it to the next level? Richard says, Thursday we had a very enlightening conversation about making a list. 3 things to do. Which day I loved. I thought I should pass it on to you, what I've been doing ever since I retired every morning. I planned something fun to do. Man, Richard, that is so great. I mean, isn't that, gosh, what a great point. And that I want to talk about that for a minute because I think that is such a brilliant point from Richard. We have our, Mark Sanborn called it the punch list, of things we need to do every day. We have our to-do list. Maybe even we get our calendars together of all of the chores, right, that we have to do. And as Ann points out, the continuing education, that is so important. It is so critical to getting through in this time. But the other thing is, why don't we say, here's what I'm going to do that's fun today? And make that part of our daily plan. What are you planning to do today that's fun? And if you haven't planned that out, now look, in this crazy time, it might be, I'm going to watch 4 episodes of The Office. It could be something like that. It might be that I'm going to take a walk around the block and just get some sunshine. Laura here says on Instagram, I'm writing 5 things every day that I'm grateful for. Boom. I mean, that's exactly what we're talking about. So it gets so easy during a time like this, and particularly for those who are alone. My sister is, living alone, or Richard is alone. I mean, there's so many of us that are alone right now that it's easy to get down. It's easy to get depressed. It's easy to get challenged. And this can help us fight it. So what are you going to write down? What are you going to plan for, as Richard says, and as Laura says, what are you going to plan for today to remind yourself of what to be grateful for? And also to plan today for what you're going to do that's going to be fun. Now, again, hey, it's maybe a little more challenging. No, not maybe. It is more challenging to plan that fun when you might be quarantined by yourself. But there are some things that you can do, from watching a comedy to reading a funny book to, doing, I was asked about a friend of mine, and I said, I trust my friend so much, I'd play poker with him over the phone. So maybe there's something that you could do that would contribute to that. John, I'm on a different computer, and you pop something up there. I'm going to move some things around here. Sorry for the folks on Instagram as I'm moving things here, but I missed John's comment. Pam, hey, good to see you today. I need to make my own birthday cake. Wow. I get it. Yep, I get it. The fam will not be together, and that is something that we have to we have to deal with, don't we? I mean, it's something that we have to see and have to deal with, because it is what it is. I mean, that is the reality of what we are dealing with in the current time. It is the reality of what's going on. Here we go, John. Richard's comment about fun reminds me of my grandmother's statement. And by the way, if you're wondering why do I read these, if you can see them, it's because if you're watching on something else, then you're not able to see it. So the folks on Twitter can't see what's on Facebook, and you get it. So John says, Richard's comment about fun reminds me of my grandmother's statement. She would say, life is fundamental, and when you take the fun away, it becomes mental. I've never heard that, John. I love that. That is so cool. Hey, and Craig's in the house. Hey, Craig, it's great to see you. My friend Craig, who has had one of the most fascinating lives you could imagine. And Craig, we got to connect. I'd love to get you on this for us to chat. Craig has done, where do you start? But I mean, Craig has done everything from, speaking and writing, what he does with his own business. He was, and I hope I get the title exactly right here, Craig, but was tour manager with Guns N' Roses with Axl Rose. So when you've been responsible for getting Axl Rose from one place to another, you've had an interesting life, to say the least. Eric, I follow Richard's orders. Do something fun daily. Absolutely. Oh, man. Richard, I'm so glad you brought that up, my friend. That is such a great comment to make. What are you planning on that's going to be fun? So everybody get ready, because we'll do this again tomorrow on Easter Sunday. Was that close enough? Close enough for government work? I know I didn't get it exactly right, but the stories that you've related about that are just incredible. Just the best. You're the best. It's good to see you. It was great to see you at the NAMM conference. NAMM stands for National Association of Music Merchants, and 100,000 people there. And Craig and I ran into each other. Each of us didn't know the other guy was there, and it was really, really cool. So I'm going to call you out on this tomorrow. We're going to get together again tomorrow. I know it's Easter Sunday, but I want to do this every day at the same time. And I'm going to ask you, what did you plan that was fun? Now, it's Easter. It can be kind of fun, but gosh, the thing that struck me is when I was a kid, we would go to my grandparents' house, and that's where the Easter eggs have been hidden. And I can't imagine being a kid and not getting, your new Easter outfit to wear your Sunday best to church, and hunting for eggs, the Easter eggs, and getting a big chocolate bunny, and all of the things that were just a part of Easter. And you and I know that it's going to be different this year than it's ever been. But how do we figure out how to make it fun for ourselves, and also make it fun for kids who are in a different situation? Good grief. Could you imagine being a senior in high school this year, or a senior in college? But I think particularly in high school, when you think you didn't have a prom, you're not going to have a formal graduation as they've had in the past. So many things that are different. And what can we do to make it fun? There you go. There you go. Richard, thanks so much for that. That is so cool. So a friend is taking plastic eggs and hiding them in some neighbor's yard for them to hunt. Very, very cool. Thank you, Cece, for saying this. No one ever talks about the loneliness and worry about loss of income. Not very positive, but it's true. You nailed it. And I think when we try to cover that up, in other words, when we don't acknowledge it, that it contributes to the spiral of depression and contributes to the spiral of frustration, right? I mean, it contributes to that, because if we don't acknowledge that we might be lonely, if we don't acknowledge that we are hurting financially, you can't solve a problem you haven't identified. And so identifying the problem is the first step in getting us to a solution. So I think you're spot on with that what we have to do is, first of all, acknowledge the problem. But so many of us don't want to say anything about it. We don't want to appear weak, or we don't want to share our problems. We've got to be willing to acknowledge it. My friend Cheryl points out that they have 2 grandsons that are going to graduate this year. Oh my gosh. What a challenge. It's one of those things that years from now, when they go to the high school reunion, it will bind them together. We were the class that, but man, it's tough for them right now. Hey, Becky, different, but still doing church in the morning, hiding eggs and the candy, dollars and candy in it, but mostly celebrating the resurrection. Yeah, absolutely. The church that Tammy and I attend here in Las Vegas has had a week-long program of messages every evening. And so, it's weird for us to be sitting in our, in our room watching it on the big screen. But man, they have done such a fabulous job of connecting throughout the week and connecting. So it's just different. I don't want to say it's worse, although I don't like it as well. It is just different. So Becky's making lunch for her family, doing front porch drop-offs, which is very cool. And Sheila, the Easter Bunny, hid eggs in Crothersville. Proud of our hometown. I am too. I am proud of our hometown. That is so cool. So, folks, I guess that's my challenge for you today. At the weekends, during the week, we probably go about half an hour or so, but during the weekends, it's a little bit shorter. Just wanted to check in and touch base. But that's Richard really made the call on what we're talking about, and that is that it's really important to plan on fun. And hey, I see Dawn from our church is online now. Thank you, Dawn, for being here. That's terrific. So that's what I want to talk about, is making certain that as we do our punch list for the day, we've talked before about how we don't want the days to run into each other, how we need to have a specific plan for every day, how we need to focus on that. The other thing that I want to suggest to you is that we make certain that we plan on doing something good for ourselves every day. We talked about the importance of learning through virtual classes and virtual training, or the things that we could learn online. There's so many courses. There's so many great things that we could study. But as we do that, let's not forget to do something really good for ourselves and really fun for ourselves, and to plan on some fun every day. Hey, Laura just popped on here and said, we don't want to confront the fact that we will know people who die. I did a podcast episode on that. And pets, if you can imagine the connection. Yeah, they're trying times ahead. Today is National Pet Day. And I posted on Facebook a picture of our spoiled pets. Absolutely. By the way, it's not their fault it's spoiled, that they're spoiled. It's our fault, and we love it, and we love spoiling them. So make certain that you have some fun with that as well. Well, that about does it for today, everybody. Gosh, plan on doing something good for yourself. Plan on doing something fun for yourself. That is absolutely the key. I'll be back here tomorrow and every day, and I look forward to connecting with you, and I really appreciate it. Thank you for taking your time to be here today. Happy Easter, everybody. In case you're not able to join tomorrow, thanks again. We're here every day at noon Pacific, 3 o'clock Eastern, and I'll look forward to talking to you again tomorrow right here on Daily Distinction. Hey, by the way, I don't mention it often, but I did want to mention, if you're looking for a resource of some information and connection, we've got it at distinctionnation.com. Everything there is free. There's nothing there for you to buy. It's distinctionnation.com. You can download an ebook to read about business. You've got a 14-day audio program that you can listen to. It's all there for you as a resource. So look forward to catching up with you, talking to you soon. Thanks, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow right here. And if I miss you tomorrow, make certain that you have a great and happy Easter. Talk to you soon. Thanks, Cheryl. Thanks, Sheila. Thanks, everybody. See you soon.